What's happening, people? Welcome back to your favorite show, All You Can Eat Warriors. We are back for another episode to talk about the latest news and what's happening with our team. I want to welcome again my guest, my co-host, Ash. How you doing, my brother?
Good, man. Good. All things good in Australia, my brother. How's things back in NZ, bro?
NZ is beautiful, man. It's been a beautiful week here. And everything's ticking along. We're into the season. We had our massive game, but interesting. We're going to get into it, but it looks like Egan's made a major recovery, could potentially. Catewell, I mean, these guys are selling injuries like WWE wrestlers.
Mate, it's all in the name, bro. What do you reckon they're eating, brother? What are they eating? Something good, my man. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So speaking of WWE, man, a question to start us off: who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh. Rey Mysterio, bro. When I was a little boy, Rey Mysterio, man. I got his book, I got everything, I got DVDs and all that. I used to love Rey Mysterio. Another one I used to love too is Jeff Hardy and that, but Rey Mysterio is my all-time favorite, brother. Where are you sitting? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm a bit old school, bro. Probably for me, it's definitely the Rock and Austin and that era. I mean, I come from that era, was pretty big.
Yep.
I used to love wrestling when it was real.
It's changed a lot these days, bro. It lost its real factor.
Yeah. We're doing suplexes back in the day, and it was fun. Figure fours and Boston crabs or Walls of Jericho, as they call them. But
and they were talking some wild stuff back in the day. These days, it's very PG, but it's probably for a good reason.
Man. Anyway, I enjoyed that era of wrestling. So, guys, if you are in the chat, there's a quick one to start us off. Who was your favorite wrestler? Actually, another one for the old school heads. Who preferred WCW or WWF at that time? I was a big WCW. I loved NWO, I loved the Wolfpack. Sting. And at the same time, you had Austin and Rock. I mean, it was just a great era.
It was such a good era, bro. Even Rey Mysterio started WCW and all that, the mask matches and stuff like that, bro. Yeah, with the purple jumpsuit. Oh, that was nice.
Actually, the cruiserweights were awesome back then. They had Malenko, Jericho, and all the Lucha guys. They were, man, amazing. The Japanese as well. Yeah, they were awesome. Yeah, check that in the chat, guys. Everyone on Instagram, thank you for coming in. It's great to have you with us. I saw Footy Hacks is in there, man. Shout out to Footy Hacks. If you haven't seen Footy Hacks on Instagram, ET sharing his knowledge for footy. It's great to have you, bro. A lot of questions coming in. I came in pieces. Let's go. Alex Ellery, how do you think we'll go against the Storm? Yeah, we're going to touch on that. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and everyone from Insta, thank you for coming in. And sorry, sometimes we may not be able to get to your messages, but if you do want to send, if you feel like you got a comment and you really need to get off your chest, jump in on YouTube at wahsup TV, and we'll try to get to your comment. Welcome in Jackson Ford.
Oh, big name.
Yeah, and actually his favorite wrestler is Jackson Ford. Is my favorite wrestler. I heard he gave Kai Kara France a hiding. Oh, yeah, we're talking Greco-Roman wrestling here. This is the real Olympic.
Proper. No fruit tables in that, man. We're talking one-on-one.
Winning one-on-one right here.
Oh,
no, absolutely.
Bro.
No, good.
Well, he needs to learn how to hold onto a ball lately.
Yeah. He's wrestling the wrong thing. Absolutely. Good stuff. But yeah, welcome in everyone. And if you are here for the first time, please give us a like and a subscribe. And also, if you go to Ash's page on YouTube, Ash Thomas, give that a like and subscribe as well. Amazing content. Mate, let's get into this. Look, team list has just dropped.
That is
the same at the moment. Okay. What's your thoughts on the team list, by the way? It's literally everyone that doesn't know. We just dropped about 2 hours ago. And it is the same team list, literally from the first round. So I suppose at the moment, reflecting on that, how do you think that will go, bro?
Yeah. As we touched on sort of in the last live stream and all that after the game and that, yeah, the team played really well for moments in that game. Like the field position that we got in that game was incredible. So our forward pack, I'm not really too far against, obviously starting forward pack. Just obviously jumping onto the team list, and that the first thing I wanted to see is definitely what's going on with our boys that are currently hanging with injury clouds and stuff over the top of them, but also what's going on with our bench, because that's the one thing that I probably would have changed coming into this game, to be honest. Especially if we're not going to use Tom Ale. I know due to last game was due to running out of interchanges and stuff, but still, like, him not touching the field last game really hampered us a little bit, where we could have used someone like Jazzy or something. If you were going to use someone, like maybe someone like that could have impacted off the bench a little bit better. But yeah, they were my big thoughts over the team list. Like, I think, we've got a chance in this game for sure, especially if we continue with the same intensity as we did to start the game last week, and we try to put it on the Melbourne Storm, especially with no Munster and Nas. But yeah, bro, like, yeah, as you said, same. Still get the same sort of thoughts. I just hope that Egan and that's okay. That's the biggest thing. Egan is my big one. Is like, I hope he's okay for this game. What's your thoughts overall?
Yeah, I'm just interested to see what what Webby's. He's obviously pushing this squad for a reason, and I suppose we didn't get a full chance to see that. So we do need to break it down, though. Just quickly on Instagram, 40 Dogs, as far as the algorithm goes, do you prefer people watch on IG or YouTube? To be honest, 40 Dogs, I am trying to push people over to YouTube. I know last year I did do a lot of IG, and that worked well, but I am trying to push my YouTube a bit. So if you do come over to YouTube, that would be great. But the IG is still here for people to watch. I know it's not as engaging as what it was last year, but it's still there for anyone that may want to watch it. And I will try my best, but yeah, it can be difficult at times. But back onto our topic here. Yeah, there's those definite things. What you said, I totally agree with. It's I want to bring up actually this page here. I'm just going to quickly set this up. Looking at our interchanges, and this is a good website for anyone that might be interested of footy statistics. It's more of a fantasy one, but it gives you a good, clear outline of the of some things. And as you can see, the interchanges here, if you look at the pattern here, the interchanges for the Sharks, they pretty much had like for like interchanges. So Royce Hunt, Jack Williams came off for him, and then McInnes came off for Hazelton. So their rotations were very clean because they didn't have any HIAs. But once you start to see, we had Walker and Bunty come on for Mitch and AFB. And then Aden have to come on again for Tane because of that HIA. And Lussick came on for Egan. And then 48th minute, Capewell got injured and Barnett came on. So I think it's quite tricky right now to see exactly what his intentions were in terms of minutes. And if you just follow it along, it gets, Capewell comes on, then Aden's off, and then Egan comes on for Lussick, and then he's back off again. So I'm giving a little bit of leeway to the coach just to kind of iron a few things out. I'm hoping that it self-corrects, but hard to tell right now. But I actually agree with you in terms of there should be some kind of focus. I would have loved to have Jazz, and if potentially Egan is going to be out, then I'm for either a Jazz or a CHT potentially coming in on that bench spot.
Yeah, exactly, man. Just gives us a little bit of an extra look there, like, with Jazzy playing amazing in Cublet as well. Like, you can know he plays through the middle, but there's also different looks that he could be, filling in into multiple different positions and stuff. Especially, when we got Dylan Walker carrying on the bench as well and all that. So, would be really interesting to see if there will be a late change. Obviously, with Egan coming out, but whether there'll be a double late change, who would know? But, we'll soon find out, I reckon.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We usually watch the 24-hour cutoff. But yeah, have you had any thoughts about the game against the Sharks? Anything kind of settled on you? I mean, we did do the post-match. Full credit to the boys, and I suppose I've kind of softened my view a little bit of the performance, and I want to acknowledge the Sharks a bit more.
Yeah.
Where are you at, bro? Has anything changed for you over the last couple of days?
Yeah, I'm probably very similar boat as what you are. I definitely want to, like, obviously the Sharkies had an incredible performance defensively, especially to the tail end of that game where we really came home, Sal's and everything were ready to really take that game off them, but just wasn't to be really. I still felt like, we shot ourselves in the foot a little bit in that game, but the one thing I was very happy with and very proud of was the amount of field position and like how our forwards rolled down the middle of the field. And it looked really, really like strong and unbearable for the Sharkies that have a big, decent forward pack. So with the Storm that still had a forward pack that contended with Penrith last week, but still to me on paper I could see like us having a very similar sort of field position type of game. It's just on these ones now to fall Tane's got another week out back, to learn these combinations and massive credit to the Sharkies last week. They were incredible to get over the top of us at home and defensively just hold us out. But hopefully our attack will just be a little bit more cleaner this week. But it's round one, you know what I mean? Like we'll grow into the season like we did last year, and hopefully end the season really, really strong, or even mid part of the season, get our combinations together.
Yeah, a very good point. I kind of softened my view a little bit, even on Lusick. I thought he lacked that time support on the field. It felt, I think I spoke to Josh about it last night. There was a period there where it didn't feel like we had much leadership or direction on the field.
Yep.
We kind of lost our way a little bit. But that's, I think they'll get that right and correct that type of thing. So, but apart from that, I'm just, I'm kind of settled down and kind of understanding how we're moving forward. Let's go to the bench though. I mean, let's talk scenarios here.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Lusick, say if Egan does drop out, we'll start there first, and then what about you obviously would start Lusick. Who then would be your kind of replacement for the Lusick roll off the bench?
Yeah, obviously there's two names definitely coming to mind. Obviously for me, my first name would have been Jazzy before we even spoke or anything like that. Would have been Jazzy. I would love just to carry Jazzy there because I honestly feel like that we could even like run Lust for a decent amount of time. I think he plays better for a longer minute role than what he would be as a 40-minute off sort of hooker. I believe he builds into a game a lot better. So I would have like 4 forward bench really, and Dylan Walker would be the one that covers here and there. Yep. But Chanel's definitely one that really, I'll just love to see maybe the look of that. It's just really throws it up to me whether I want him to keep, building into his game in cup and, playing 6 and maybe being that cover if the 6 goes down. But that's the only real thoughts that are running through my head. First of all, would be Jazzy for me, man. But what's your thoughts at?
Yeah, Jazzy gives you kind of that that kind of a bit more sturdiness around the middle. I mean, it's probably a more like for like cover for Lusick at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, it's serviceable enough to do a job out of dummy half, but also can cover other middle roles. But would love the look of CHT at some point.
Yeah.
Good point here by Chloe S. Welcome in, Chloe S. I think this might be your first time here. When AFB and Barnett come off, our momentum shifts. Need more grunt from Bunty. Yeah, and maybe that's where we're talking about. We may value. I think the value of Jazz when we do have that momentum shift because it is real. We've seen it, and I think the Sharks had a good counter to it when Hazelton came on, and Rudolph. You just felt they lifted up, and then we dropped off. So you've got a really good point there. Yeah, I think it's kind of a mixture. Me and Ash probably more on the vein of Ale coming in for that role.
Yeah.
And even a Jazz at this stage. But we want more from Bunty, obviously. If he's going to be doing that role, we definitely want more from him.
Yeah, I think our overall thoughts on Bunty before the season coming in was for us, if he wasn't starting for us, I probably wouldn't have seen him in the whole 17. I would have seen him probably starting in cup. I feel like he's a better starting front rower than he is a, middle of the game, get him on there and try to punch out, get momentum through the ruck. I see that more so being the Bald brothers with Jazzy and Dylan Walker, or someone like Tom Arler that has a little bit more foot speed through the middle and maybe a little bit more lateral movement, you know what I mean? Like the footwork of Jazzy and Dylan Walker throughout the same time. Maybe something we lacked a little bit last week. Walker did an amazing job there. But Jazzy, he just adds that little bit extra through the middle there, through his mana, and his work rate's high. So that's what I really like about him. So
And this, I'm going to actually agree with that argument of Bunty starting, because if you had Barnett coming up against Hazelton, that would have maybe matched it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But then again, we might not have had that same platform, that 12 point. It's a bit of a swing either way.
Yeah. Good thoughts, though. Good
You know what I
thoughts.
mean? But really good, yeah, really good discussion. Things that we're really interested in. Ezra, thank you for coming in again, bro. CHT will get the hook or roll off the bench. Oh, yep. There was talk. I mean, we had Matador on last night, who I think is an inside.
Mr.
He had the inside
Insider.
scoop. Yeah, it was a burner. He was definitely on a burner account, whoever it was. But Matador, if you're out there, give us an update from today, please. Yeah, but he was saying he saw CHT training at hooker,
Yeah.
and he saw Catewell was in a bib, I think. But that,
Ooh,
that
okay.
doesn't. Yeah, but that's yesterday's news, and obviously he's been named. So
Yep.
yeah, I think would we agree that me and you would actually enjoy looking at Catewell? Sorry, CHT as that hooker off the bench.
I would love to see it, just to see like how it would look and all that. I think defensively he can hold up from the middle. It's just I still don't think the ruck service, like the hooker service, is going to be any real better than any other option that we have. I think like he's got a good passing game, but it's different passing from the ground, especially being a bigger boy than like someone that's a little bit lower to the ground and getting used to the service out of ruck. So it doesn't really help our issue in that sort of way, but I like it also being the one that if anything else goes wrong, like we have another player that can cover in like halves and stuff like that. So would be interesting. He played well 14 for Samoa in memory. Obviously that game, I think it was against PNG where they won last minute and that. I'm pretty sure he played hooker in that game. So yeah, it'd be interesting watch maybe coming into this one with our sort of lineup. That's my thoughts around it.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a potential to be 17th man.
Yeah.
That, even if you did hold, say, if Egan was playing and even Lussick was playing, then there's an option there, or vice if Jazz is the 14, the cover for is still there as an option.
Yep.
Let's go with the back row. Catewell obviously listed, but potentially not going to play. Where do you see in terms of, do you see him? Who would be his like for like replacement? Obviously, Marata's out at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you go as far back as Laban to fill in as a starting back rower?
Yeah, I'd probably say Laban, but judging off these reserves, like it's really tough to see where we're probably going to be sitting. I'd probably even see that would like get a replacement in our own starting lineup. We'll probably push Mitch Barnett probably back into an edge back rower role or something. And we've seen it in the past last year where we have done that.
Yeah, we have.
And then bring up someone like, obviously Upthewahs or something to start the game. I'd love to see Laban in that, but judging off these reserves, which is probably everyone that's going to be jumping on that plane to come over, I'm struggling to see if we're going to have any late switches here. See, out of the two of them, like Catewell's the one I'm not least worried about because a lot of like the rib cartilage sort of stuff is a pain sort of thing. So like from all of memory of what I've heard, I'm not a physio and all that, but from all I've heard, a lot of boys get needled up and that for stuff like that and AC joints and stuff like that. Egan's definitely the one that's a little bit more worrying of whether he's just going to drop out. So I think Catewell may be able to push through the pain, but if not, rest him up. And I think we do switch within, that starting lineup. I don't think we bring up Laban, in my opinion.
Yeah, good point.
I could be wrong.
I was talking about it and I forgot about Barnett being a back row, and I actually would like that. I think that's a good switch.
Yeah.
To have him on there. That's definitely an option. I mean, you could maybe go with Laban as a in the 17 if you wanted extra cover. I mean, if you wanted to get him kind of in the Josh Curran role, that could be an option as well. So yeah, there's a decent amount of cover. But you probably want to fix it if you could fix it within your own. Would you then push up Bunty as a starting prop then? Would that be
100%. 100%. Okay. I'd go Bunty for a starting prop for the first 20 or whatever, and you'll probably see Jazzy maybe come into our lineup late because of that move. So that's really where I'm looking at if I'm looking at our full team list that we're coming out with at the moment. The only thing why I may not like Barnett there and I'd rather Laban's maybe more in the attacking end. Like I think Barnett obviously runs good lines, does all that, but it's different running lines on an edge than it is running through the middle and that.
Yeah.
So whether that right side attack does lack a little bit having Barnett on that right side. But judging on our lineup, that's where I really see us, if it was to happen, would be Barnett to the edge, a forward to start, and then Jazzy would probably come in to that interchange role.
Yeah, no, good point. Just quickly on Instagram, shout out to Lewitsy. Hokamo. Do you think Jazz did enough to get his spot back? I hope he does. Felt for Ali missing minutes. Yeah, I think we feel at some stage he will. And actually, Liberty, if you can jump over here on YouTube, I know you got a few comments in here up on wahsup TV. It'd be good to get them on the YouTube. And anyone else, if you do want to share some comments, jump on to wahsup TV on YouTube, and we'll get to your comments. But yeah, very good point. What we got? Tahi, bro, good on you. Yeah, we need Egan. Oh, we absolutely do.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through to a combined 17 pretty soon. But just while we're thinking about that, while we're settled on the squad, it is the same squad. And if the same squad goes out, how would you like Webster or the team to be? How would you like the bench, maybe even, or just the team in general? How would you like us to play differently?
From last game, I think a lot of our areas that we were weak on the Sharkies definitely came from like maybe Tua Picky's placement in attacking sets and stuff like that. With our bench role, obviously it comes down a lot to if Lussig's going to be starting in that. If Lussick starts, I want him playing as much as he can, like whether he can get through the 80, because I believe he's a hooker that can get through 80 and do it at a decent click. Like he's very defensive sound. And just really good, like decent service from the ground and that. So I'll just see like our middles just being rotated as best we could. Maybe if we lack a little bit of that momentum, bring Dylan Walker in to spark it a little bit. Very similar to last game. I just want to see a little bit more Tom Arlea. Like, there was moments last game, as you did point out with that fantasy website and that, like where we had HIAs and that may have really mixed up that he may have come on maybe late to the first half. Maybe we could have seen that. Maybe we could have seen late, the second, that sort of stuff. So that's the real one I really am watching out for, because maybe we did miss a lot of that from the middle, especially the little keys like 10 minutes before halftime, 10 minutes after halftime. Those would have been the moments where maybe Tom Arlea would have held up with like the boys like Hazelton and stuff like that. Because in this game, you're seeing someone so experienced like Christian Welsh and all that are going to be coming off the bench, but they're not so much as like impact forwards of what the Sharkies have. So if we can get the punch out really early and really control and dictate this game really early, we have more likely to go for a full 60-minute game, I reckon, against the Storm than what we will against the Sharkies that can fluctuate due to their bench just coming on and just pushing on that leg speed through the middle. When you got Hazelton and all those boys coming off the bench, it's really tough. But when you got Christian Welsh and stuff, they punch the line, but they're just not the same as Royce Hunt and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, giving credit to Fitzgibbon. He got it kind of right when we got on top in the start, but then that last interchange. And I want to go back quickly to the interchange, because if you think of Brayley plays 80 minutes, it gives you an extra spare interchange as well. And at the moment, from the looks of it, we're creating an extra interchange for Egan. But when you do have the likes of Capewell getting injured, it just messes with things. So I hope that we get to see the full plan this week. But no, I totally agree with you.
Would you think that that was another like not little gripe, but obviously with the game plan that we had against the Sharkies, did you feel like that we went sideways maybe a little bit too early when we were eating them up through the middle of the ruck and beating them very early, like through there, AFB, obviously scoring that easy try off the pass from Egan, and then Metcalf cutting back in behind the ruck. And then we had moments where Sheck and stuff were just eating up the middle there. Like, we probably shouldn't have gone away from what was really working and not try to dictate going sideways like we were trying to do maybe. So whether we just stick to that game plan and that philosophy very early on in the season, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and to clarify my view of that's what Egan does so well is you can go 3 to 4 tackles and get these massive tackles, chunk runs, and it just does so much for your sets. But that's my only concern with Flussick. You lose that ruck getting in behind a lot. Then it's more you miss the marker work, and literally it's just more of a hit the first receiver, and it's setting up outside plays, and that's maybe why they started to just sort of drift a lot more, because you need kind of that tightening of that A gap defender to set the chain for the rest. And I suppose they kind of, once they could see that it was just one out passing, getting into a set play, it's just easier to shift on. But good point here, Chloe. Once Tua Pickett can link with the outside backs, under pressure than we play. Yeah, that will help. I think with an extra week of that. And
100%.
another good question about how we inject RTS a bit more. I think it's a little bit of everything.
Mm.
There were some good moments, but I think I would like to see maybe just kind of Metcalf and Ford just kind of direct their runs a little bit more inside
Yeah.
and give RTS a little bit more outside space to either. I just felt maybe at times Metcalf was kind of eating up his inside space a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though he likes to go to the outside, but he loves the inside as well. So why, giving him opportunities to step inside. But if you're cutting off that space, it's kind of forcing him just to literally stay on the outside. So just little things like that. I think if they can just tighten that up a bit. But he's definitely early ball, early ball. Get it to him
100%.
early. It just, even with, Ramian did a great job. But I still feel that he at times he could get that quick play the ball that sets you up, like we're talking about, getting up in faster sets. You know what I mean? So
100% agree.
do you have any more thoughts on how we can inject them in?
No, I think it's a bit of a balancing act too, as well. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he does a lot of his really, really good work through the middle as well. So that really comes down to Sheck maybe pushing in off that, that edge. But being a center, being a newly center, I think he wants to get accustomed to being on the edge as well. So like maybe he doesn't want to go too far away from that. So whether we can like maybe tune up some plays for like outside, inside plays and stuff for him running through the middle or stuff like that. But I do agree with you. Like if we got to give him ball on that edge, I want it very early because he's got the footwork and the speed and the tackle break ability. He's not that type of like center that needs to be running lines. Like he needs to be getting ball early and creating. That's his best like asset. So I do agree with you there. Just good early ball and not cut up a lot of his space.
And a lot, and another thing, Chloe, about that is that, as you can see from Metcalf's try, he's keen too to chance his arm a little bit. So
yeah,
it's just about them to that whole channel, their left side, working together, understanding each other. I mean, a great example was when in the first half where RTS offloaded and Metcalf didn't know that the offload was coming.
Yeah.
It's like he's not aware yet of that anything's possible with RTS.
Exactly.
And so I think he still needs to fine tune his rhythm, get in sync with, hey, there might be an offload here. I just got to keep my eyes up before setting up the next play, that type of thing. I think it's likewise, RTS kind of getting in tune with Metcalf, but it will come. And it's
100%.
exactly what Tahi is saying here. It will come as long as they push for improvement. Yep. And I think it's good to hear Sean's comments. It's like, we're not worried about outside noise. We want to just improve, and we can control that. So I think that's the right narrative for them to be having.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, great questions, everyone, and everyone on Instagram. Yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging around as well. Upthewahs saying, just as Ask Jacko, spray some of them magic most on the ringer. He will be sweet. Yeah, you got to get that. What was it? What's it? Back in the early 2000s, the rugby guys used to have the gloves. Remember those?
Oh, bro. Get the gloves, and then as soon as it rains, no.
Yeah. The little rubber gloves. These
yep.
ones. Yeah, the biker gloves.
And just get the NFL gloves out
there,
brother.
Yeah. No passing for you, bro. Just literally catch like a running back, just grab it in the midst.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, bro. That'd be awesome. Yeah, no, listening to Bloke in a Bar and all that, because usually it's a weekly listen for me. I love like hearing their thoughts about it as well. And Kempy did bring up a thing. Maybe he is thinking too much of what happens after the play than maybe before. Maybe he should be just worrying first of all, just getting to that thing of just catching the ball first. So, but yeah, get the gloves out, man. Like, honestly, get those NFL gloves, get the logo and stuff on the... Yeah, that'd be awesome, bro. That'd be awesome. That'd be gangster. We need to bring that to NRL.
Yeah, we got to bring the gloves out, man. Let's go. This a great bit of news, I feel. Metcalf re-signing, well, from reports. Yeah, are we happy with this news? I know Ash, you in particular, myself included, have been big on him and hoping for his success. Are you happy with this news?
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Because if it's good news for the club as a whole, like locking up a player that, as we keep touching, he is an Australian-born player, grew up in Australia, to come to New Zealand, fall in love with New Zealand and re-sign for a couple of years, definitely a really good sign. I know we've had people drop out, mid-seasons, all that sort of stuff. It is what it is. I trust that these boys, if they do love it, they want to stay, they will stay. And also, like, obviously the club's given him the trust that he is going to be the next guy up, obviously, when SJ does leave. So he's got all the potential to do it. Like, we've seen it in the games. Like, he does need to develop. He's not like a finished product yet. And I don't think there's really that many young halves in the comp that are a finished product right now either. So I think, he's got time, he can grow, but he's definitely got superstar potential. Just his speed, his footwork, his tackle break ability just brings so much spark to our squad. And now if he just adds in that little development of setting up the outside man, working with an edge back rower, and just like, the little bit of the kicking game. He's got a good kicking game already, but maybe the long kicking game. Yeah, little things like that. And defense is obviously a couple of things he to touch on, but he's put up a little bit of size in that. So really, really happy with the signing overall, because I can see him being a player that I fall in love with for years on after SJ.
Yeah, cool, yeah. And I did a little exercise last night with Josh about where he may rank in terms of the current 5/8s, and like he might be in around the 12th, 13th mark.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yep.
And my point in that wasn't to kind of highlight that he's a bad player. I just think where he is right now, he has so much room to grow.
Yep.
And if he continues to develop, and I think it's a good. I mean, if it does happen, it's a good sign for him and the club, because it means that he's enjoying the development. He feels that he's growing. He feels, he is a kind of a prospect, you would say, in
100%.
terms of Aussie clubs would definitely be looking at him. So if they get this deal done, and then it's obviously good signs that he feels this is the right club for him to develop. But the potential is definitely high, the speed, and the intangibles, the creating, that will come with time. Some guys already have it. Some guys takes time to develop. And look, he's played 13 or 14 games. That's not the main thing for him. And I've always said is getting good health this year. So that's definitely my view there. Welcome in, Ethan Harris. Yes, what's your predictions for the game? We will get to that, bro. We're gonna go all the way through the squads, and we'll get to a score prediction. But yeah, I'm definitely picking going Warriors at this stage. I feel it's a really important game, but we will get into that, my friend. So let's talk. Anything else about that signing? How you see him as the successor for SJ? You happy with that? Man. Yeah, definitely a long-term prospect. I mean, the deal at the moment sounds like it's a 2-year deal, $500K a year. You happy with those numbers financially?
Yeah. Everything seems to be in line with definitely what I'm hoping for, and that, like, SJ probably still, like, if he has another year or so left, and that would give maybe a year for Mets to shine and see really what he's got. It's not too long of a deal that we've locked up to someone that, let's be real, he does have an injury history in that as well. Like, as you touched on before, maybe we just needed him to get through a season in that. So it's not too long to where that could hamper us as a club, but it's also not too short to where, like, we're going to be without, when cover when SJ leaves and stuff like that. So I feel like, the numbers, everything lines up really, really well. 500K, the new salary cap's not too bad at all. I'm really excited, and I feel like he's got the potential to be the successor to SJ. It's just whether he reaches that. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, agree on the 2 year. It gives the club options, and it gives himself options, actually. If things aren't working out by that stage, then happy for him to do what he needs to do. But totally agree. Well, you're welcome in, Tanya. Good to see you as always, and welcome in everyone on Instagram. If you do have a burning question, come on over to YouTube at wahsup TV. Yes, I am trying to push that, but I do appreciate all the support on Instagram. While I'm on Instagram here, Donovan B. Graham is saying, sorry if you've already talked about it. How dope was it to see Egan and Catewell in the squad this week after hearing about? Yeah, it is beautiful. But we are going to be on the cautious side a little bit, Donovan. About we'll wait for that 24-hour cutoff. That's usually when guys like Egan and Catewell, they'll know if they've made it. We know last year was definitely when Tohu. Tohu, what was it? He got named. Remember that for that Bulldogs? Which game it was? He got named, but then pulled out in that 24-hour cutoff. So we'll wait, but we definitely hope that it's possible.
100%.
Quickly on Ethan, while we're talking a little bit about Egan and that, how will he hold up? Yeah, that's the interesting part of it. I mean, me and Ash are talking about in terms of, I feel the decision to have Lussick come on for Egan is a move for the future.
Mm.
So for me personally, I view that this is going to be an interchange we're going to see regularly.
Yep.
I would love him to play more minutes to maintain momentum, especially we've just talked about movement around the ruck and that type of stuff. But it's Webb he's managing. He's a player that needs to be managed. He does have an injury and HIA history. But for me, if he could play 80 minutes, I would be
It would be
totally
incredible.
stoked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya's saying yes, they are named, but I don't want to build myself up just in case. Yeah. We're the same. We like to see the name listed, but we will wait till that 24-hour cutoff point. But now, good points there. Let's go into the Storm team list. Let me just pull up. I won't put it on the screen until we do the combined. But Pappenhausen at the back, Will Warbrick, Ramus and Coates, two massive tall wingers. Ramus Smith, Nick Meaney in your centres. Jonah Pezzett and Jerome Hughes in your halves. Tuikamika Mida. Sorry, man. There's these Fijians names there.
Fijian names, brother.
Yeah. 2K. Harry Grant. Josh King in your front row, Joe Chan, Eliasa Katoa in your back row, and then Trent Loiero lock, Tyron Wishart, Christian Welch, Chris Lewis, and Alec McDonald makes up their 17th at 17. And they got Sean Bloor from the Tigers. Wow, that's a good pickup.
It happened with the trade with Justin Olam. So they got rid of Justin Olam early, and they've received Sean Bloor. So a pretty decent trade there, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty, helps each side.
100%.
Did you watch much of their game last week, bro?
Definitely. I had to rewatch it. It was very, very solid in defense. I felt like their attack, they completed like 68% or something like that. They dropped a lot of balls. So did the Panthers, so it was very clunky. I felt like that's maybe what softened our outlook with the Warriors, especially over the weekend as well, seeing all the other teams that like are still clunky in attack and stuff. So it's like, a lot of teams are looking like that very early on in the seasons. But definitely, their strike players like, Harry Grant, Eli Katoa played amazing in that game. Like, it's so good to see Eli Katoa like slightly reaching his potential. You know what I mean? He's such a high potential. I wanted him to be like that at the Warriors, but we all know him at the Warriors. He was up and down, had injury troubles, just in and out of the squad. It's so good to see him get through some good footy because I've always loved Eli Katoa. Like he's a gun of a player. Not too much else to really touch on with them. Like Xavier Coates had a hell of a game. Nick Meaney looked really good for a centre role there, but Taylor May was an absolute monster against him. So maybe he would be on that left side. So that would be, I think, Sheck's side. Yeah. So Sheck would come up against Meaney. So that should be a good matchup there.
That's a good matchup there.
I'm thinking off the top of my head. Yeah. And Papi was a little bit quiet, but they're still trying to like work him back into like he's still running the same sort of lines inside out, the way the Melbourne Storm like to do that with their fullbacks and that. So very good defensive game, still yet to click in attack, and I feel like a lot of that comes down to no Munster. You see that a little bit in that game. So yeah, strong squad. No Munster and no Nas really helps us in our end a lot. Nas especially, because Nas always plays amazing against the Warriors, and I hate it.
Yeah, he does. He really does. He knows. It's always the guys from regional New Zealand that have something against the Warriors, recruiting only in Auckland. So they've always got something up. Just quickly on Chloe's question here. Any try scorers for multis? Ash's. This is usually Ash's realm.
Okay.
Got any try scorers just off the top of
I'd actually like to see Sheck maybe score a good one in this game. As I said, like, Meaney had a decent game against Taylor May. Like, Taylor May still dominated. Like, it is what it is. I think Meaney still missed a couple of tackles in that game, but still looks sturdy enough. I still see that being an opportunity. He's still trying to figure out centre. If we can run Sheck at him with his footwork and that, I see Sheck maybe a good one there. Really tough to say anyone else. Like, I would love to say Catewell running off the back of SJ against Jonah Pezzett. He's definitely another one we're going to be targeting on the right side. Jonah will be defending on that right side, if I do remember correctly. So anyone running on the outside of SJ, I'm hoping it's more so Catewell if he's like, getting over that injury and all that, then it would be with like a Mitch Barnett or something like that who's going to fill in there. So anyone running at Jonah Pezzett, I'd love to see that. And anyone like RTS against Meaney, that's where I see us really attacking. So they're my two there. For the Melbourne Storm, unfortunately, maybe Eli Katoa, because Eli Katoa will be running straight at probably our weaker side with Metz and Jackson Ford. That's where I see the tries maybe coming from.
There you go, Chloe, for your multis. And if they are successful, let us know and,
Ooh, that'd be
give
nice.
us a little percentage of that if you can.
Little chump change, baby.
Yeah. I agree with you. Another good shout is as Adam. He scored last time, and
Yeah.
he's back into that role. But
Always.
I think that would be more off if Egan was playing, because Egan has that nice
Deception.
ruck control and deception. Yeah, but if Egan isn't playing, maybe those other ones are a bit better. I like Capewell for Grubber. He nearly scored his first try off one.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems kind of a good one for me. And yeah, an RTS a shout for that, definitely. That would be beautiful.
Yeah, 100%.
Game style wise, from what you've watched, how do you think they will attack us? Kind of the Storm.
So coming off the Panthers game, and they've been doing it for the last couple of seasons, is not so much very similar to the Sharkies, but they do run like a tram line sort of look. So like they would like to move our fronties around a lot. I think I noticed that in our last game against them in Melbourne, where out of that hooker, they don't usually go one outs from there. They'll probably go a 2-pass shift and push real like to the edges and that. I probably see that a lot, so they'll probably run maybe a lot of traffic Metcalf's way, especially with Eli Katoa. Yeah, and then Harry Grant for in the middle. So the biggest thing is for us, we need to control the ruck, but also don't, fall off the side or anything like that, because Harry Grant is so good at just, figuring out ways to dart out from dummy half, and then you got Ryan Papenhuyzen to worry about in behind there. So that's where I really see Melbourne Storm maybe worrying us. That's probably where the game plan is probably going to be sitting for them. Yeah, it's the two players I'll be watching for is Eli Katoa and, Ryan Papenhuyzen and Harry Grant for the ruck.
Yeah, and I noticed a little bit too early on, especially in the game against the Sharks. They did hit us on Sean and Metcalf.
Yeah.
And they did get some success in terms of that's always a good way to get a quick play of the ball. If you attack the half and you get that kind of bump off, and then they get on the front foot and it can kind of set up. So, yeah, I reckon that's a really good point. They will attack Sean and specifically Metcalf, and then expect Grant to hit off those quick play the balls and just start working the ruck. And yeah, that's an area we really need to be tight in. If we can get especially our front rowers to come over and help, and the back rowers need to really dominate those tackles, then we can just sort of contain those sets a bit. But yeah, you don't want to be doing massive chunk 50, 60-meter sets, especially off those wide head-outs. But yeah, something to be concerned a little bit about.
Especially with us having we don't have a massive forward back. Like the Warriors of the past used to have a really big, not as mobile forward pack, not of the past, but the last, COVID years and stuff like that. With Barnett and all that, they move laterally a little bit better. I'd say their ruck movement's a lot better too, for in behind the ruck and that. Yep. But still, when you got someone like Aden and Tohu, that still kind of worry, in behind the ruck sometimes. Sometimes those boys can get caught out laterally. I could see Harry Grant maybe attacking that quite a bit. So have trust in the boys. They'll, hopefully to defend, they'll pretty tight in, but that's why the Melbourne Storm like to do those 2-pass shifts, so they can really open up the middle of the ruck, and then Harry Grant just eats us alive for there. So, yeah, big defensive efforts really on hand.
Absolutely. But nothing that I think our boys can't do. But you can point here by Bryce. Boys can't give the Storm stupid penalties like they did the Sharks that killed all, man. Yeah, it was. If you do look back at it, that first penalty we got led to another penalty, and it does just change momentum. Even when you are on the ascendancy, it can impact you. So big night away at the Sharks. We can't do any of those silly ones like leg grabs. Just got to really nail stuff like that. Kia ora, Richard. Welcome in. Yeah, upthewahs. Yeah, brother. Do you boys think Sean and Metcalf did connect enough last week? Probably. I think certain looks, certain sets where I suppose Metcalf as a second man didn't look, the link play wasn't the greatest. But they can fine tune that. I don't have too many issues with that personally.
I felt like, the Sharkies defended that really well, especially like Hines and Trindle. They got off their line really quickly onto our playmakers very, very early. So You know, it'll grow definitely, especially, you know, seeing Shawnee wanting to go more, you know, he swings both sides now, especially being the first off the ruck. And it will probably dictate space for Lukey Metcalf and that. So I believe, yeah, I reckon that will last. Like it'll go well. Just need to grow into it. It's still like, you know, early rounds. So
Yep. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of guys. Even though you have preseason, technically, you know, those guys only played a half. Sean,
yeah,
it's still short a little bit. You can definitely tell that. But yeah, we'll come right. Yeah,
yeah,
good call by Tanya. Perhaps it means support play if they get a line break. Yep, and like he's got another week under his belt, so no doubt he'll get even better. But yeah, we do need our guys to be in support play.
yep.
We need the likes of Metcalf and even Tane just be sniffing around. Always be ready to be up there for an offload because you never know. You just never know. Great points. Let's go into. I suppose we could do combined 17 right now.
Ooh.
And we've kind of not changed it too much, but we are changing how we're approaching our combined 17. Last week it was almost 12-5, and we lost the game. So that tells you about our favoritism. But we are going to try. If they are a draw, we'll call it a draw. If we can't come to a decision or agree on something. And likewise, we are going to change it from the best 17 in terms of not against each other, but who are the best left wingers, who are the best left center, right center. So yeah, we're kind of just changing it a little bit. But bear with us. Just quickly get to this. Just quickly up the wahs. Thanks, mate, for coming over. Yep, Discipline's going to win it this week, I reckon. Can't give the Storm an inch, but still look at our team and think we have the better side. Good point, man. Yep,
100%.
Definitely. But looking at this squad, our combined 17. Let's start at the back. Easy one, fullback. There's no other. It's a literally matchup. Who do you have, Peppenhausen or Tuopiki? And maybe we just talk look quickly strengths and weaknesses and maybe what we want them to work on while we
100%, bro. In this one, I'm taking Tane to a peak. Nah, I'm just kidding. I gotta go. After what we just said, nah. I gotta go Ryan Papenhausen. Like he's done it in all, like, you know, he's done it in the grand final. He's done it like for seasons. He's had incredible seasons. Speed, footwork. He's got ball playing and all that. Tane obviously still needs a lot to work on, but he's an incredible prospect, and he's definitely got a big future if he continues on the uptrend. Played an amazing game last week, just needs to fill in a couple of areas there, but out of those two, you just can't go past Ryan Papenhausen. That guy is just, he's a freak of nature. Injury is the only thing that's ever held Ryan Papenhausen back from being a Blues fullback or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm taking Papi.
Yeah, same here. I think for Tane, he had a really good running game. Interesting tactic was last week. The Sharks on that short side. Maybe it's because of the blocking rules as well. That short side kick's quite interesting. I thought that was a good tactic.
Yeah.
And then those bombs sitting right on that right edge can be quite tricky for Tane. But I thought he did a pretty good job for most of them.
Yep.
But I think ultimately, we just want him to get a bit more relaxed, get into the game a bit more, like especially link play. If he can just settle a little bit more, I think he'll be fine.
100%.
Yeah, I definitely could give that to Peppenhausen. Okay, so this one we're doing. Let's do left wing. So we're gonna go Montoya v Warbrick. Is it Warbrick who's the left winger, or is it
left
Coates?
wing would be Xavier Coates?
Okay. So left wing Xavier Coates versus Marcelo Montoya.
Okay, so for me, I love Monty, the work he gets through, his tackle breakability, all that sort of stuff, right? But
I love him when someone says, I love him. But you just know.
Exactly, I love him. But again, I'm gonna have to take Xavier Coates here. Like Xavier Coates has done it on the Origin level. Again, the only thing that's really held him back, he's had consistency problems and stuff over time and that, but a lot of injuries have hampered him from getting to a proper, like, you know, to a level to where we're all going to be talking about one of the best wingers in the competition and stuff. His finishing ability is just like incredible. He's up there with Dal and all those sort of boys that can really put the ball on like a little quarter in the corner. You know what I mean? Like he's incredible leaper, just moves so well. And, you know, as I said, I love Monty in that. I think like out of the two, Coates is a better defensive winger as well. He's got better defensive movements. You know, Monty does need to grow in that area as well. But yeah, I'm taking Xavier Coates out of those two, bro. Where's your head at?
Yeah, I mean, Ash must be undercover.
That's why I have to say I love these guys, but you know,
maybe you hear I love him so much, but yeah,
let it down softly.
You'd have to go Coates in this situation. I do agree with more finishing, better finishing, a bit more of a target in terms of attack.
Yeah,
I haven't watched a lot of Coates, but at the same time, I in our kind of team, I love what Montoya does.
Yeah,
definitely works in our system. Big meters. I thought he played a really good game too, against the Sharks as well. So yeah, just expecting a more consistent game from him. But I'll go with Coates there. No issue there from me. So we're gonna go now. Is it right wing? So Warbrick v Watena Zelezniak. Tricky one, actually. Different kind of Warbrick, obviously a bit taller, I'd say, and more of a target on bombs, slightly crossfield bombs, that type of thing.
Yep.
Do you think he has a better work rate than Dylan? I'm not sure about that, but yeah, what's your view of him?
I have Dallin in most all areas against Warbrick here. Like, I think Warbrick's an incredible prospect and he still needs to grow, like consistency and all that sort of stuff in the NRL. But his big body, big frame, he breaks tackles well, moves well, and he's starting to get finishing now. He's obviously really good in the air too. Like, we've seen multiple times. I think the Roosters game to pip him in that final last year, obviously out jumping on that side. And he tried to do it against the Panthers, I'm pretty sure, off memory, the other game or whatever. So he's a really good aerial target as well. But Dal, for what Dal's done last year, and even just within his career and that, like what Dal did last year within the small amount of time that he had, the amount of tries he scored, his finishing ability is just on a different level. And he's got he's got the tackle break ability. Like, I'll have him there. Yeah, I got to take Dal, bro. He's more experienced. He's been around for longer. And, like, his work rate's all the way up there. He loves a carry out of his back end. I'm going Dal.
Yep, I'm going with Dallin as well. I do like Warbrick. I think he's definitely a future. And, look, he's only been in the game for a year or two. Done amazingly well within that time frame. But we'll definitely give it to Dal there. So, I suppose let's go to our centers here. So Remus Smith versus Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. That's a good little matchup there.
Yeah.
Who are you taking in your left center position?
Yeah, I'll go back to doing. I love Remus Smith, but no. So like, I rate Remus. I think he's a great player. Does struggle getting like. Sometimes he can be found out of lineups here and there. Consistency does seem to be somewhat of an issue for Remus. I think he's decent defensively, and can pull off something amazing in attack and that. But I got to go with the high work rate from Rog. Defensively from Roger, he hasn't let me down. Just Roger in all areas for me, bro. He's incredible. Such an incredible player. Dally-M Player of the Year. Incredible.
Yeah, I actually feel as though in this situation, Roger's better, and I would take it personally from in terms of when he gets better ball and better situations. I think Rog will get that
up.
If it doesn't click on Saturday night, you may see Remus have a better game, but I still feel the same as you. Roger's a better player.
Yeah.
But Remus is again, they're just very good at getting solid players. That's just been the Storm's motto. Just they don't have superstars, but they have guys that can do a job and stick to the structures and that type of thing. So,
100%.
Yeah, but no, I take Roger in that situation as well. Now we're going to go to Nick Meaney versus Rocco Berry. Who's your right center there?
Yeah, Nick Meaney really, he did impress me last week. For a player that's playing his first sort of games as center, he has the ability to play fullback, 5'8", multiple different positions, really on the whole back line. He could play winger and that. But as an out and out center, I got to go Berry. Like defensive movements, I think Berry's like incredible. I think Berry's kick chase is second to none. I've been harping on it since the day I've seen him. Like he's like the first one there usually every time when we're kicking on that right side. Yeah, I think, you know, his attack will get better over time and that. I think he has more potential in attack. Like Meany does all the right things, but he's not like an incredible tackle breaker, you know, line breaks left, right, and center sort of stuff, where I can see Rocco growing into that. Like I think he runs an amazing line. We saw in the Kiwi A squad, he's got that little flick pass offload that he's still trying to work on. Little tap bat-ons and stuff like that. I got to take Rocco here, even though he's so young and still unexperienced comparatively to Nick Meany. As a center, I'd sway towards Rocco.
Yeah, I'm definitely with Rocco there. I think the interesting thing about it is that, yeah, despite Berry not having, let's say, a really good running game at the moment, like we said, he's working on his offload. He's working on his lines. That gives a lot of credit to what he does defensively. That's so good. Well, is at a good standard, NRL standard right now. That kind of pushes him into the starting spot, you know, for centre over Pompey, who can play right centre, but that value of him being such a rock solid defender, we saw it against Talakai, you know, covering tackles. Yeah, you know, I think that tells you a lot about what his potential is, that he hasn't even unlocked a attacking game fully yet.
Nah.
And once he gets, you can just see his movements. He's a little bit doubtful at times of where to, you know, for example, early ball for Rocco, his decision making isn't as pinpoint as, let's say, RTS. Like RTS, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to go pull the guy, step him on the inside, whatever. Rocco's a little bit indecisive at the moment, just showing his suppose lack of experience. But like I said, to say that he doesn't have that yet and is still trusted to do the job on the right center is credit to him. I love that. I love his potential. He still has a lot to learn. Yep, and good points there by Tanya. His kick chase is on. Yeah, really, really good point there.
If you want to see his attacking potential too, like I strongly recommend that Kiwi A's game. Like he really showed that he could like, you know, mix it, especially with the up and comers and that. I feel like, you know, maybe the reason why his attack hasn't coming into first grade is, as you said, maybe it is a confidence thing yet, and he will grow into that, like being confident enough to do like the fancy stuff and do all that. Because he obviously wants to impress to get into that system. And like at the moment, we're not a Rocco Berry team where, like, if we're going to go right, it's Sean Johnson to Dallin. Like, it's not Sean Johnson to Berry. So maybe he's playing his role so well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you won't really see that really yet until we really need it. But he does have that potential when he gets there, if that makes sense. So,
yeah, cool. Now, guys, we're going to jump into the halves. We're going to change this up a little bit. We're going to think who are the best two halves combination, like just best two halves.
Yeah.
I think who would you say if it is for you?
For me, if I was to build a halves combination for the Warriors, like I love Metcalf, but I'll take Jerome Hughes. Like I'll go SJ and Jerome Hughes. I reckon that's the built halves combination out of this team that we got in the team list. If Munster was healthy, I would probably sway Johnson and Munster, but Munster's definitely not healthy in this lineup here. So we're going Jerome Hughes. Probably, I can see Jerome Hughes playing the 6, you know, and Shawnee being the controller and just giving Jerome that really nice early ball to really dummy and go, or does what he does best on that side.
Interesting, just matching up Metcalf and Jonah. Where is Jonah compared to Metcalf as in terms of who's better, and what have you seen from Jonah's game?
Yep.
Sorry, I haven't watched much of him, but yeah, what do you know?
No, he's Jonah's more of a typical 7, so he gets through like a decent kicking game, gets through his work that way. He doesn't really have that like off the top, you know, speed, the burn, like tackle break ability, like anything like that, but he's very controlled and gets through his work that way. He's a lot better, definitely probably setting up his outside men than what maybe Metz is at the moment. But like Metz is definitely further along in most all other areas than that. And even like I'd say they're not that far apart with their, you know, development in setting up for the outside men and stuff, because Jonah's still very young into the league. Like his first year was last year, the first time we seen him in NRL. And before that, we saw him in under 20s for the Blues, and he played really, really well there. but definitely more of a structured 7 comparatively to Metz is probably more for me an off the cuff, like make something happen sort of 7. So at the moment, I got Metz probably a ways away from him. But Jonah in time will grow into like a really good constructive 7.
Cool. Yeah, I'm actually in agreement with you. I think it is definitely Hughes and Sean, but good to
Yeah.
see and what maybe we might expect from Jonah in terms of his matchup with Metcalf.
Yep.
Guys, we got 29 in here on YouTube.
Ooh.
Thank you for coming in. But if you are here, please give us a like, and if you are new here, give us a subscribe. The likes do help the algorithm, guys. They do help us to continue to grow the channel and also just to kind of push the content forward and so we can do more and that type of thing. So if you are here, you give us a like. We hopefully try and hit 20 likes tonight, or even more would be great. 30 would be great. But if you are here, quickly chuck a quick like on there. We appreciate it.
That's good.
Okay, let's just wrap up that quickly. What was it? This is probably more of an even scaling.
Yeah, 100%.
So we went Peppenhausen. So 1 to the Storm.
Yep.
The wingers we gave to Coates and Dallin. So 2-1 to Storm.
Yep.
Then we went pretty much both centers to Warriors, so that's 3-2 to Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went 1/2 from the Storm and 1/2 from the Warriors, so 4-3 to the Warriors at the moment. Pretty happy with that.
Pretty close, man. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't really change that.
Yeah, so we think they're stronger, obviously, in the fullback position and in the wings a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're given their 1/2. So no, interesting, very good. And now let's go into the forwards. Now, how do we want to do this? Probably just best 2 props, or what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, we'll probably go through the best two props combination. I think we may really have our answer already. Where's your head at? What do you reckon?
I've got Adam definitely in there.
Yeah.
Josh King is, for me, he is quite reliable, but I think Mitch is better than him personally.
Yeah, 100%.
Where are you at?
Yeah, out of the two, like, ads is a definite out of the two of them. Barnett for me definitely offers more than Kamakamitha and Josh King. Like, Josh King, as you said, is very sturdy, gets through his work. Mitch does that, but offers that little bit extra in defense. Like, he has that momentum changing sort of defense, the aggression that we want from the middle, but also, the line break ability, runs a good line from the middle, him off Tohu, like stuff like that. Yeah, I'm edging Mitch Barnett over both Tui and Josh King there. So Adam Finnell-Blake and Mitch Barnett, I reckon, is the duo there.
Cool. Now let's go to hooker. Now we are assuming that Wade might not play, but while it's there, it's a good topic.
Yep.
Grant versus Egan.
Yep.
Quite an interesting styles, slightly different. I mean, Egan, Harry Grant for me is more of the durable, maybe bigger type hooker. Egan a little bit slender, but very good at his ruck work and his passing game. And who are you going for in this matchup?
For me, I've got to go Harry Grant. I honestly believe Harry Grant's the best 9 in the competition, and by probably a decent margin now. Obviously, Benny Hunt plays really well at 9 when he goes to like representatives and stuff like that, where he could be an awesome 9 in that. But even like Marshall King and stuff, maybe try to compare. But like Marshall King for me is like sort of around that same level as maybe an Egan. I'll probably just maybe sway towards Marshall. I'm not too sure where I feel there. Yeah. Out of these two, like Harry Grant for me is a definite winner. But it does offer, like, it shows you how much that Harry Grant watches. He watches a lot of Wade Egan for his ruck deception and stuff like that, which is a major tick in Wade Egan's book. Obviously he does that so well on a different level, but Harry Grant's, just the speed he has, the defense he has in the middle, the little like grubbers, the nudges, he is just on fire when it comes to all that sort of stuff. So I've got Harry Grant for me all day.
Yeah, it's an interesting take because for Egan's work that he does, it's in a limited, I suppose, it is a kind of a limited role in terms of Harry does probably a bit more kicking, probably does a bit more, work. His work rate's probably higher overall, even talking defensively and minutes and that type of thing. So For what he does, I think Egan is one of the best at it. But if you're looking at even what I was talking about with Brayley creating a spare interchange because he doesn't need to be taken off. In a similar sense, Harry Grant offers you that option as well. Bit more minutes, bit more, consistency in terms of game, being able to play and so I'm probably go Harry there in that situation. But great to talk it out. Great to
100%,
talk.
100%. He's definitely more zippy out of dummy half, Harry. Wade Egan's so good deceptively, but he's like more of like a Rolls Royce, moves like, slow movement, but he does it so well. Where like Harry is like a Lamborghini, like a Ferrari, you know what I mean? Like he's quick, but does everything so nice. So yeah, it's really, I feel like, a lot of people could be picking, I just have Harry Grant. I think he's the best 9 in the competition and by a decent margin.
I would say this about Egan in terms of his pass selection, like all of the offensive elements of the game. I just love what he does. But you adding in all those other elements from Harry Grant, it does pip him. But for what we got, I love what Egan does.
100%.
And good comment here. But honestly, we're done if he doesn't play Lussica's light years. Going light years now. We get the feeling, Tanya. I would have had pretty much a thing on Lussick. Paul Bugger got it from me. But I mean, we understand that. And how important, especially to our team, how important Egan is. Moving on, let's go to. So in terms of it's 2-1 at the moment to us in the forwards. We'll go to the back row now. So left, who's the left back row for them? Is it Chan?
Joe Chan, yeah.
Joe Chan versus Jackson forward. Who have you got on that matchup?
I got Jacko. I think like out of all the things we say about Jacko, and like his errors they definitely creep in, and like they are something he needs to work out. But everything else about his game, I love. Like defensively, he can have some off moments as well and all that sort of stuff. But his work rate is just incredible. Like he gets through his ton of work. He's exactly what you guys said. He's the guy at the party that like gets shut down by all the girls, but he just keeps going, like keeps trucking. He's incredible that way. So I got to go him over Joe Chan. Joe Chan's still raw, still a rookie, big body, tackle breakability, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Jacko just outworks him all day. So I'm going. Jacko.
And actually, Jackson's in the chat. Welcome in, brother.
Shout out, Jacko.
I'm even surprised I got us selected this week.
Shout out, Jacko.
Good on you, Jacko.
And he's got the Freddie Lussick sort of profile pic too. So I don't know what's going on there, Jacko, but
he loves him some Freddie. He's surprised he got that's a good one. Yeah, I'd go Jacko for. I think Joe Chan probably just more time. Again, a good opportunity for our halves to attack some of these younger players. Just and I think Jacko's work rate, if he can cut down, just love him to have a clean game this week. 100%. Even in those hit ups, bro, don't hit up too hard. Just take the tackle, surrender.
Just catch the ball.
Just surrender if you need
to. Just catch the ball.
Just do the surrender tackle, man. I don't care if it takes extra 5 seconds. Just don't drop that ball, all right? Now, we're happy with that. And just while we're here, Bryce Grieve saying, surely Kate Wah isn't playing this week. His ribs look cooked. We're not too sure yet. I think the fact that he's listed means that he's, possibly.
Probably.
Maybe they're going to wait till Friday, maybe, or what's the flight? Maybe Thursday or Friday, maybe. I'm not sure when they're flying out.
Not sure.
Probably they'll make a call pretty quickly, I'd say. At least by Thursday at the latest.
As I sort of said before, like out of the two, I think Kate Well's the most likely the one that's going to be playing. Like I feel like rib cartilage, she could probably needle up and maybe get through depending on how bad it is, because usually a pain tolerance sort of thing. Where Wado, it could be more of a structural thing or whatever's going on there. So maybe he could be out for a little bit, but hopefully it's good signs they've both been named. You know what I mean? Like maybe they are decent chances to get there. So
yeah, no, we're hopeful. I personally want to see this bench with our starting lineup and see where we sees this team potentially.
100%.
Definitely. Okay, good. Yeah, good matchup here. K-Wolf versus Elias Katoa. Tricky one, actually.
Very
I
tricky.
think Katoa has come up in leaps and bounds.
Yes.
Yeah, Kurt, I think kind of, yeah. Where do you sit on this one, man?
This one like really, really hurts. So it's like because I
Set
love
it up.
Ellie
Set it up. I
Katoa.
love. I love. As soon as you hear that I love and name, you know.
Was that Simpsons meme or whatever? Say the line, Bart. That's what it is right now, bro. Like, oh god, man. Like, he, bro. When we've had him like at the Warriors, like as soon as I first saw him and I first saw the lines he was running and how powerful that guy is, I've like adored Eli Katoa, and it was a sad day that we let him go, but I do understand it was better for his career and all that. But you can't go past Kate Wells' experience, what he's been through. Like he's been Origin stage, he's been to grand finals and all that. Ellie is still not there yet. If we're going on talent and maybe a player that could be amazing running on like that Ellie right now, if he was running on the outside of SJ, that would be nasty. Be nasty.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Where are you going with that one, bro? I'm going Capes. I'm thinking Capes. Only just though, but like it's getting close now.
When you mentioned SJ running off Katoa in this system, it did excite me a little bit. Well, maybe go a draw there. I might go Katoa.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm favoring in terms, overall experience, definitely Kate Well. I'm just going to draw it maybe to this matchup and just I think he has grown leaps and bounds, like Tanya's saying. And I think, I think he's done really well at the Storm. Happy for him. I'm happy for 100%. Any of our guys that have gone on to. I mean, I hate that it's a Storm, but for a player that had that potential, it's looking good for him.
If we're going best overall lineup, because Capes definitely got the ability to go left side, you'd push Capes to the left and then have Ellie on the right. That would be like if you were to have a Warriors squad and pick from the Melbourne squad to fill in our spots, I'd push Capes to that left and have Ellie on the right all day, every day. But the matchup sort of left side, sides and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's
good point.
Really tough.
Let's go draw there.
Yeah,
I just want to give a good shout to Katoa, but I think
100%.
I think I'd love to see a bit of Kate Well this weekend in terms of his lines with Sean. Just tighten up a bit. I think they're just timing's a little bit off, but it's fine.
Yeah,
something just needs to work on. Loiero versus Tohu. I mean, I love Tohu, but
I knew it was coming.
But Loiero.
I'm not a massive fan of Trent Loiero, so I don't love Trent Loiero, so don't let him down gently. We're going Tohu all day.
Like one of those yogurts or like those little chocolates, like Loiero.
Oh, bro, don't do this to me. I'm gonna be sitting on this one, bro. What is that chocolate name?
Loiero, it's something like
no.
Shout out to Bryce Tohu. Very nice.
Harden.
Yeah, it is. It is. What is Loiero's game? Is he just a toiler? What have you noticed?
Sort of like when he hit the scene, there was a little bit of talk about him like locking down that edge back row role that now Joe Chan is in. Okay. He had a very much up and down year last year. Had some defensive problems on the edge. Now put him in the middle. He actually looked okay in the middle in that 13 against the Panthers, but like I just have memories, obviously him on the edge and that, and I don't see his passing game and all that because I love like a 13 that can really shift, ball play and all that through the middle and stuff. It's like very similar. Like Tohu's got that in his bag all day. Trent's very up and down in a way. He's got a little bit of ball playing, but out of the two, Tohu just leaps and bounds.
Okay, well, that was easy, but good to know our opposition and what their skill set is. Like, so we went both of our props. So that's 2. They gave it to Harry Grant 2-1. Then we gave it to Joe 3-1. Then we went.
We'll go
draw there. Tie. We went a draw. So what would that be? That's 3.
Just give him a 1.
Yeah. 3-1-1 there. And then we gave it to Tohu, so 4-1-1. So overall, I think we're at 4. So plus the 4 from our from the back. So it's 8 to the Warriors plus their 3, so it's 7. No, what was it? 4, yeah, 4,
So
8,
we had
5. So it's 5, 8-5 to us plus the draw. Is that right?
pretty close. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty right. Yeah, spot on.
Okay. 8-5 plus. Now bench. I think we'll go with just best 4 players. I liked what we did last week. You happy with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Well, who's our non-negotiables? Dylan Walker for me.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Are you going Christian Welch over Bunty and Tom?
Yeah, I got Christian over both those boys. Even though Christian's later on in his career now, coming off of injuries and stuff like that, he had a good game last week. Last year was a little bit of an off year for him, but he's got origin potential. Like he's a gun player, so I like Christian Welsh.
Yeah. So we'll give them that. That's one. So there's 2 more spots.
Yeah.
It's either Tom Ale, Bunty, Alec, Chris. Let's maybe look at Wishart. Does he beat out Lussick at the stage?
Nah, not for me. Not for
for
me.
you?
Like Wishart's had some up and down games as well. I'd probably just sway to Lussick, but it's only just still. Like I think Luss does still have a little bit to prove in the NRL, but like I think he has definitely a little bit more potential than Wishart. So I'm going Luss.
So you're going Luss. Okay, but does that mean he beats? So it's pretty much 5 guys: Chris Lewis, Alec McDonald, Bunty R4, Tom Ale, and who have you got in the last 2 spots? So we got.
So if I was to rearrange this bench, right, we'll go Dylan Walker.
Yep.
We'll go Christian Welsh. So that's our 2. So 2 lefts. I would have Tom Ale and Bunty R4 over anyone else there. So our 4, for me, my 4 would be Dylan Walker, Christian Welsh, Bunty, and Tom Ale.
Cool. I've actually got no issue with it.
Yeah.
So that's 3-1 to us. Yeah, 1-3. So it was 8-5 plus the tie. So we've gone another 3 for us. So it's 11-6 plus the 11-6 and a tie.
Yeah, give them the 7. Go
11-7. 11-7 there.
100%.
So kind of similar result to last week.
But
so it means we're by 12. No,
to be fair, you come here for a Warriors chat. No, no, but like
that was genuine. That was a good one. That was a really tight. I think that was genuine matchups. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't feel like I felt like maybe with the Sharks on last week, we kind of Then I don't know, man. Like I don't know if we just have the shine on our players and all that sort of stuff. But like I just see, a lot of like these better ones here. Like I can't replace Mitch Barnett or Adam with any of these boys here.
And if anything from last week, our team was better. We just didn't finish. So it's not to say that we aren't wrong. And so if that is the matchups, I think we should have a good chance of winning again.
100%.
On paper, like this is on paper, guys. Obviously, but in terms of the actual game itself, that's another story. But shout out Chloe is saying, "Wish I was Lussick the best."
I'll give him an extra tick though too. Like if Nas was playing, like Nas would definitely be on the bench.
So Nas and Munster, I'll still be the same halves numbers.
Yeah.
But you're probably looking at like a 10 to 6, 7, or 9 to 8 type of thing. Yeah. Hey, shout out Fanatics, man. Let's hope we can finally break this. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about next, man. Definitely. Tanya's got Welch, Walker, Bunty, Lussick, Wishart, draw. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. And Richard's saying Bunty needs to have a blinder amped up for his game of this year. Okay. Yeah, he does. He does, and it's another. He's got to step up. He's done well in these preseasons. He's always done well against kind of cup level, but against the better players, we expect more from him, and we hope we can. But let's get into kind of just I suppose the game. How do you think the game will go for yourself, and then maybe lead that into your score prediction as well, bro, if you don't mind.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's going to be a grind fest. I think, the Melbourne Storm are going to try and hold us out for a lot very early on. I think we're going to bring a lot of momentum very early on, though, very much like what we did with starting with the Sharks. I don't know if I'm hoping for the Storm to be a little bit like, I know it's still early on in the year, but that Panthers game would have took a lot out of them, especially the amount of defense they had and all that. I'm expecting us to really come strong at those the edge back rower of Joe Chan and Jonah Pezzett. Like that combination there is very young, still figuring out NRL. If that's any place for us to attack, and that's going to be Shawnee's side. So right side's definitely going to be humming, especially if we got Capes there. Like I'm really, really excited to see that. And then if we do shift left, you know, Sheck getting one-on-ones with Meany and stuff. The one area I'm worried about for us, as we spoke about before, Eli Katoa up against, you know, Luke Metcalf and Jacko. That's definitely probably where area where I thought they held in very strong last week for as much as what they did, whatever. But Eli Katoa is a gun as well. So going from Brinton Accorda to Eli Katoa, that's back-to-back amazing back rollers running on that edge. So still yet to be figured out there. And then, in behind the ruck sort of stuff. So Harry Grant is like so damaging in behind the ruck. To have Ryan Papenhausen humming around there. I believe that we need to take exactly the same thing as what we did the first time we went to Melbourne last year, where we need to get on the front foot early and really try to drive home and not give away any early penalties, any errors, really grind it out. And hopefully, you know, Munster was there last time to get a 40-20 or anything like that. Really cover from the back as much as we can. So that's the way I see us really, the whole game sort of working out. I think it's going to be a very close game, to be honest. I really do.
Yeah, and I think the Storm will take a lot out, you know, keeping the Panthers scoreless. I mean, obviously Panthers are probably finding their feet, but I watched the first 20 of the game and it was just high intensity, you know, really 100%. fast game. I thought that the Storm really aimed up well, and just looking at their minutes as well, just looking, Eli Katoa's playing 80, you know, that's great for him. And, you know, we'd probably expect the same from Catewell, but with the rib injury, we don't know what's going to happen there.
Yep.
Harry Grant, like we talked about, 71 minutes. You know, this is the type we're coming up against, a really, I suppose, fit squad, but also, you know, their players playing big minutes and creating, I suppose, allowing their bench players to come on and provide that impact as well. So, but for me personally, I think we just need to firstly correct our own errors, fix our own game. Get ourselves right. I mean, as fans, we could all see it was just clunky in parts. It was, it wasn't sitting right, the attack at times. So what we can control, I definitely agree. We just need to control those elements. Penalties, again, massive, you know, whether you agree with them or not. Errors, Jacko Ford, others as well. Just need to tidy up a few of those areas. But yeah, it's early days. For me personally, it's a great matchup to have. And I've always said, you know, you've heard me say it a million times, that these are the games I want to win. So for me, it is about winning this game in particular. We might be shorthanded, but want to see a team, you know, with our depth. And we've talked to it as fans. We've mentioned our depth. We've agreed that we have a great depth squad, and we've rattled off. Even if we do miss Lussick or even Egan or Catewell, we're still pretty happy with, on paper, where we stack up against them.
100%.
So we should have a good chance here, all things considering, to have a crack here at the Storm. I
think the big help, bro, is no Nas is a massive one, especially, you know, that bench rotation. If we start fast, and the thing, you know, with the Sharkies, when they started to get their bench rotation on, that's where we started to see a little bit of the turn of the game, and the Sharkies really beat us out between that 10 before half and 10 after half. With the Melbourne Storm, like, they got Christian Welsh on the bench. Christian Welsh, for me, is more preferred as a long minute forward. He's not really an impact forward. He's got the offloads and stuff to do some impact off the bench, but nothing crazy. Wishart, for me, I still haven't seen much impact from him off the bench. Chris Lewis is another one that's just sturdy and gets through his work defensively in that. And Alec McDonald is very similar as well. They don't really have that punch off the bench that Nas really brings, and that changes the contest so much. So that has me really positive for this game, that if we could soak a lot of like Harry Grant's momentum, Papi's momentum and all that very early on, and really continue on, I feel like we have the juice to go 80 with these guys and really come home with a good result, especially if we were to have someone like Catewell and all that in the lineup. I feel like with Egan, it would be awesome to have him there, you know, for that early punch and all that, like really early and all that. But I feel like Freddie could be a decent matchup here, where he could, you know, outlast a lot of these boys and yeah, we come home really strong as well. So there's a couple of ways we can go about it. I just think their bench is really what's maybe lacking for them at the moment with no Nas.
Yeah, I think the big part, and like you just mentioned it, they have a less impact type bench. Nas is out. I even saw on Instagram he liked the team list, so he's not even in the 23. So I don't think he can be selected. But meaning, I think he sounds like, yeah, I'm out, but happy for the boys. So that's good. So I hate these last minute calls. Nas is back. Oh, it just puts me into. All I just see is this massive elbow just dropping on Wade Egan's jaw. And I just
Let's not go back to this.
Yeah. I just get these flashbacks and it just scares the hell out of me. So Nas and Munster out. Just I'm very quite confident. But like you said, it'd be interesting. I think going back quickly on the Sharks and I think the reason that Bunty came on and maybe it was that impact from Hazelton and that was a little bit strong and maybe he felt that we needed to just defensively hold for a bit, although it kind of backfired a little bit. I wonder if we do see a bit more of Ale and maybe see signs like, hey, we've got a good roll on here. We might see him come in as well. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. But if all things go well, he definitely, I think, will get that back end role. Got 20 minutes as well.
And don't hold me to this, but seeing Fa'alongo not named for the Bears squad and all that this week, I wouldn't be surprised. Same with Sean Bloor, with that bench named the way it is, even though that was pretty much the same bench what ran with the Panthers. Like if they want that little extra spark, Fa'alongo is like just all that spark. Smaller body and all that, but he could cause a lot of havoc. And Sean Bloor maybe could be a late one too. Like if they really want to up that, that spark from the bench, Sean Bloor definitely has that. We saw that against the Tigers last year when he came off the bench, and him and Dane Laurie really connected really well with a whole lot of offloads and second phase footy. So that's really where he worries everyone there. So late changes still could happen for the Melbourne Storm as well with Bloor and Fa'alongo for me. So watch out for those names.
Watch the space. We'll definitely have a look into that. Good point here. Phonetics. New Cordy would have been absolutely awesome for this one. I just want to get back to a question quickly while we're here. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Bryce Greaves made an interesting one. Sorry, Bryce, I haven't missed a question here, but do you think Zion Mayu will come into calculation after this weekend? I think his 2-week suspension is over after this week. Good question.
Yeah, great question.
Where does Zion sit for you, brother?
Yeah, I could see Zion maybe making a put. Out of the bench that we named here, I think that with the trial form of Ale and Afoa, that's maybe what's lifted them to an interchange role in that. As I said, I still sit on the whole thing of for me, if Bunty's not starting, I would love to have that little bit of spark off a bench instead of something like that, like Afoa that's very much a sturdy player off the bench. So I could maybe see him pushing for one of those spots. I don't know if he'll be able to push for Tom Ale's spot, but that could be up in the air as well. Maybe get him a couple of games of Cup first, and then we'll probably see him late inclusions within another couple of weeks or so.
Yeah. I think he's definitely going to be in the mix. A lot of these boys will be in the mix once the season's kind of settles in and we see how guys are shaping up. Yeah, good one here by Tony T. I thought Webby might have started with Bunty for his defense to take the sting out of their forwards and brought Barney on for impact like last. Again, there's an argument here, Tony, and we've talked about it, that if you started Bunty, you would have had Barnett come on and impact the game a bit more against Hazelton.
Yep.
Interesting, yeah, but it gives credit to Barnett that he's good in both. You've seen him start and be dynamic, and then you can see him off the bench as well.
Exactly.
You want something a bit more, and that's where the talks of Zion Mayu and Ale coming from. Yeah, we just need a bit more. Bunty is good in that role, but doesn't give you that flexibility off the bench at times, especially if the momentum's going one way. You can't really. He's not one on a third or fourth tackle that's going to give you that extra couple yards or break the line. Like we saw Marato when he came on, we broke that line multiple times, and I think that's what we are missing at the moment. Yeah, good point, Fanatics. Yeah, the interchanges will be interesting, and I think we will get a clearer picture of how he views it. Absolutely.
Adding on to that Zion question too, bro. Thoughts come into my head right now. Near Corte would be back. Hopefully around by then too, with Zion maybe coming off suspension as well. So that adds another clogged to the bench. You know what I mean? Like we got to fit Nick Goddard in that bench, which would probably see Ale or Fowl drop out. And then like I still got love for Jazzy. Like if Jazzy finds his way, if he keeps playing his cup form the way he did last week, like he'll be knocking the door down as well. So Zion maybe could be behind those two boys behind there as well.
Yep.
So really it kind of finds out to what their cup form maybe is and whether they will push for a spot. So yeah.
Yeah, good call. Jackson Ford, talking about his Jackson Ford to score a meat pie. Yeah. I love it. We love you, Jackson. We appreciate you coming in after training and spending time with us.
Thanks, Jacko.
Yeah, we'd love you to score a try. Just
that.
don't drop the ball. That's more important to us.
Please.
Shout out to Chloe as well, saying wasn't it only 2 games in the Redcliffe trial count as 1? Yeah, probably. We need those midweek games, where you make up a fake game.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's been named in this New South Wales Cup team for this week. So, if that was to be the case,
yeah,
no, he hasn't been. So, he's probably still a week away or whatever.
Yeah, and if Bunty's not started, I think Zion would make a bit more impact off the bench. Bunty's defense definitely better. Yeah, Bunty's very reliable in his tackles and things like that, but we are missing that aggression. Good point. I'll definitely start with Bunty and then bring Bowden on for. Yeah, that I like that too, Bryce. It's just we really interesting argument. There's on either side. It's interesting, yeah. And Nas, thank you, big Nas. I love you two's combination. I was there at 95. You two, massive combination, in my opinion. Yeah, we're the OG. Stacey and who? Nice combo, me and Ash. No, we appreciate it, bro.
Sure, Bella.
Yeah. I hope you're talking about us, but you might be reflecting on 95. I
was going to say we go way backs.
Yeah. No, but shout out Nas, always in here. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, let's go quickly to score prediction, brother.
Yep.
What have you settled on? And who's going to win? And what's the margins and scoreline?
Yeah, I'm sitting around like my numbers that are hopping into my head is like 16 to 10. I think it's going to be like, I know 16's like somewhat, it's not a high scoring game or anything like that. I think it's going to be very defensive. I reckon we can get some points past them early. It's just whether we do let him in late. That's the biggest thing, which would be a little bit of a worry. But yeah, 16 to 10, maybe a little like 16 to 6 sort of look. The attacking side of the Melbourne Storm, like they struggled with the Panthers last week, but it's the Panthers, you know what I mean? Like 8 points. So yeah, I'll stick with 16-10. I think 16-10.
16-10 to who was it? Sorry,
to the Wahs, baby.
Right,
to the Warriors.
Cool. I'm kind of sitting at around that 20 to 16 or 22 to 18, like that range.
Yep.
I think we should hopefully settle our attack a bit more, and we should have a few more opportunities to score. Yep. The opportunities were there. We just couldn't finish it, and so I'm thinking we kind of correct a few things. But yeah, that's definitely a potential scoreline. The other one is, I just think it will be a tight game. Points 8. Yeah, I think for the Storm, they're probably looking to improve points wise, but a great matchup either way. But I've said it from the start, and I'll stand by my word that these are the games to win. I was happy even for 1 and 3, and if that was the case, but this one being the one that we won, so I have to back myself and what my philosophy for this year is, and it is about beating big teams.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with scoreline of 22 to 16, and I think on paper we've just talked about it. We feel we got the better front row, all that. Let's show it. Let's prove it. But I think it just needs to be. I agree with what Webster said. He said last week, we tried to go for the big plays a little bit.
Yeah.
I think for him, those big plays are like, the improvised plays where, Catewell gets the kick in behind. There was one play actually when I look back on the tape where Sean kicked for Dallin, but it was actually open underneath for AFB if they went through the hands. Yeah, it was on. Just split second decisions. But maybe those are things that Webby's thinking, hey, if we just kind of be a bit calmer about how we approach it, those are the types of things. But I think just a little bit more patience and we'll be okay. Fanatics saying 1 to 12 here for the Wahs. Nice one here. And Tanya, never been bet against the boys, but the past trauma for the Storm, I'm going to say 30. Wow, Tanya, that trauma is deep.
Bring
You
up
might
whose
need to
comment was
see
it?
someone
Ash
for
is a
that.
Storm fan. Where Tanya, what's going on?
It just runs too deep for times. I think it's
It
heard it too
hurts.
many times. It does.
It does.
But we got to
I
correct
agree.
it, and I believe it's going to be on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Up the wahs 95, wahs 1 to 12. Yeah, one. I think it's definitely a 1 to 12. I mean, if it's a blowout, shucks, we will. That's definitely a good
worry.
sign. Yeah. But I mean, if we blow them out like how we did Canberra, yeah, that would be great signs.
Awesome. 100%.
Yeah, and it felt as though that first 20 at the Sharks had it was like, well, we're going to go on here. Would love to see a more consistent game, and if it does go 13 plus, that would be great. Bryce Greaves believes in 13 plus. And Nas, yeah, it is real though. It is the Storm. That's a good point, man. Polish and Richard saying polish our game, and we'll be okay. Love it.
100%.
Just like you used to polish the boots on Saturday. Did you ever have you're probably not from the shoe polish era, but I remember when I used to play footy, used to polish the old shoes the night before. Did you play junior footy, Ash?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, junior footy all the way.
Who's your junior club?
So I played in the Narangba Rangers and stuff. Well back when I was little, I played for the Stanley River Wolves. So we went like undefeated for a season, under 16s, and like trumped that grand final 40-0. And I was a hooker back then, surprisingly.
Oh yeah, a bit of a
little bit of Wade Egan to me, baby. But then moved over to like center wing, and I was more so that. All I was a sidestep brother, and that was pretty much it. Because I love Sean, like Benji, Shawnee, all those boys, Carmichael Hunt. So
Michael Hunt, yeah.
That was always me, man. That was always me.
Yeah. No, I used to play my junior footy for Te Atatu. Those that know the ARL over here, Auckland Rugby League.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I played in the halves, a little bit of mainly a halves player. They played a bit of union as well. Played first five. Enjoyed union actually as a community game. It's quite enjoyable. But that's kind of my experience. Played a bit of second 15. As you do.
I heard there's a massive difference between Aussie footy and New Zealand footy. I've heard I had some of the boys, obviously the boys coming over from New Zealand and that, they said like, get ready to get hit because you get hit in New Zealand. Where over here, you get hit, but it's not anything crazy, but a lot of the boys are a little bit more like catching that sort of stuff, where NZ is just like all out, just
I used to play with a guy actually when I was younger, George Peacey, for those that know rugby union. The PC brothers, there was another brother as well. They played a lot for North Harbour, but I think they might have played for the Blues as well. But George PC, bro, he had granite shoulders, bro. I've never been whacked so hard, and he used to whack people as well. And actually, Kalani Going from the Going family. I used to play with a mate of mine, Shul Going, who was Charles Going. This was his dad. So those that know the Going family from Sid Going. Charles used to train me, and these guys could whack, man. And, it's relentless, old school style,
Screw that, bro. My notable name. So when I was playing, mainly school footy, like there was the little break in between where I just played school footy and all that. I was going up against Josh Kerr, that's playing for the Dolphins right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, bro. But Josh Kerr now, he's a front row forward. He was all talked about like center winger back then. And so he still had the size, the tall, like he was so tall, so rangy. And honestly, he was like so bad to go up against. Like I was just grabbing onto legs and just hoping for like someone else to come in for me because, it was nasty. So he's definitely one of my big names that I played up against and all that. And he was a gun, bro. He was a gun coming up.
Yeah. And thanks for letting us go reminisce the good old days a little bit there. But I can see some comments come in. Yeah, I know it sucks. Tan says, but damn, we don't beat them in this game. I reckon we'll definitely get them the next one. Okay, good point. Bryce, good point here. Who wins the coach battle? Far out. That's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one. If we're going coach battle, because like a lot of that comes down to bench rotations and stuff like that. With the bench that we got, I think Webby could win that. Like if you're going overall coach, like.
Yeah. We're talking in this game. I think Webby might have him. I think Webby would have seen a lot from that game and was quick to fix and rectify a lot of things. Bellamy traditionally has a certain style, and we know how that works. But I think that's kind of where we're at. Ilsh the hooker, shout out Nas. And Richard saying the shoe polish era, barefooted.
No way. Not with those metal studs going around, brother. No way.
Yeah. I was. Yeah. My dad always made me use the shoe polish, bro, on the back. And then I think your era had those nice ones where you didn't need to do anything.
It was a beautiful shoes, beautiful. Used to legit, bro, before games, used to like check out the boys' boots to see who was good. Anyone had those like yellow Nikes and stuff, you're like, oh, it's gonna be a long day.
I had the old Fanukins, the black Fanukins.
Oh, yo, the Tyson Frizzels, nah.
Tyson Frizzels, bro.
The All Blacks.
Yeah, like I said, eliminate the errors, fast line speed, early put them. Yeah, all good points, Tony.
All good points.
Yeah, right at the motorway. Yep. Shout out to Tatatu, grew up in the area. Yep. Tanya just changed my wahs. 35 film out the window. Good on you guys. And shout out Richmond. Yes, Richmond. Absolutely. Yep. Good call there. If Bellamy, I love seeing Bellamy have a fit. If I see that, then even if I haven't watched the game, I know we're winning.
Bro, that man has fits in trial games. Like it's hectic. That I don't know how long he's still going to be going for. Like every year, it's always like, is it his last year? But incredible coach, but just man loves a spit.
Yeah, he does. He needs to get one of those wipers, with the window wipers. Just have one of his assistants just wiping it off.
Get Kearney back in there. Kearney just starts wiping it off for him.
Anyway, guys, I think that's we did a massive stream there, hour 40, and hopefully that was you guys enjoyed it. If you are still here, give us that like if you haven't already. If you're new here, give us that subscribe. We appreciate you guys all coming in and supporting the stream, especially all of our people giving comments. And if you are on Instagram, probably best to jump over here on YouTube on wahsup TV.
Join the party.
Join the party over here and jump in the comments section. Really appreciate everyone. We're going to do. I feel like we're going to do a pre-show for Saturday night. So if you are around, would be great to jump on. Ash, I'm probably going to jump on around 8:30. That type of thing. If you want to jump on, are you doing a watch along? What's your watch along for this week? If you've got one.
I'm planning to do the Broncos versus the Rabbits game. So early Thursday. So nice. I can cruise into the week. And I'm really excited for that one. It's going to be a belter of a matchup. Both, teams coming off losses in the Vegas games. So they'll be wanting a win there.
Yeah. And shout out to, big up Ash, guys. Thank you, Mighty. The mighty.
Shout out Mitchie. I know this man personally. Shout out to Mitchie, bro. Shout out.
And get on to Ash's, guys. He's nearly not far from 1K. Please help our brother get
close.
there. He's doing really well. So catch that watch along and subscribe and like to all of the stuff as well. But we'll do a pre-show, guys. We usually do the full credit to the boys, but it will be 11:45. But hey, we never know if it's a blowout or a comeback win. If we feel a bit excited, we might jump on. But join us for the pre-show on Saturday night. And then you can enjoy your game after that. But thank you again, everyone. I'll be dropping some footage this week. We'll do the wahnanga, do a bit of video analysis, do short reviews. And also, guys, jump on the Ash's TikTok. Got great stuff, covers all the NRL stuff.
I've got a combined 13 this week, brother. I'll be doing a combined 13 of the Brisbane Broncos and the Rabbitohs. So the game that I'll be doing a watch along on, it's going to be a belter of a team I'll put together there. So get excited for that. Get excited for that.
Just before we close up, big up Ash. The brothers come in. Chloe, yes, thanks for coming in, Chloe. I think it's first time in. Upthewahs, thanks for the amazing content, Liz. First time here. Enjoyed my time. Thank you for spending your time.
Thank you, Chloe.
And Tan's just still going on about. We love you, Tans. She's got to keep the stream will end. Tans will be still talking about that.
She's a beast. I love her support.
Yeah. And also, guys, Tans, if you don't know, she does the Monday Night Quartet with the boys from Warriors Fan TV. So catch some of her stuff as well. We love having her around. And Richard, thank you for popping in as well. And Naz, again, thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that stream, guys, and we'll catch you definitely on the weekend. But talk to us on our socials. We do try to get all of our messages, and we appreciate everyone coming in. So that's it for now. Up the wahs. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll catch you later.